Welcome friends to a Doctor Who lore video. I always have to think a little bit about when I'm starting a new subject, where to begin, what's like the key point where I can start putting out videos. And of course, it has to be Gallifrey, the home of the Doctor. And that's what we're going to look at today. First we're going to look at two of the citadels, the first and second cities of Gallifrey. They're called the Capital and Arcadia. Now, you have to use your imagination here. They are incredibly large cities that stretch up into the very heavens above. And they have incredibly large wheels. And the supports and vaults of those wheels go deep into the surface of the planet, embedding the cities in the surface of the planet, I assume. In the heart of Gallifrey, in the heart of the capital, is the main tower, which contains the Panopticon. This is where great decisions of state are discussed and made. They're made in a large hexagonal chamber. Now it is rumoured that the 6 sides of the hexagon, each of them is to honour a founding father of Gallifrey, though we're not told who they are. Now this place has seen many great events, presidential inaugurations, resignations, and also we're told assassinations. And it's so big in size that it can hold hundreds of Time Lords. And it's cleverly designed so that each point in the chamber is visible from every other point. And there is a series of galleries above at every level, and it's incredibly high. I think it's definitely going to be a thing here about Gallifrey. Everything is going to be an almost impossible scale to imagine. Now, the main entrance to the tower. To either side there are doors. Now these lead to antechambers, and it's there that Time Lords will put on their robes of state with the distinct large collars, and the ramp from one of the antechambers goes straight into the main days, and it's from there that the President will address his people, the Time Lords. If you look elsewhere in the tower, you will find the Capital Museum. And it's here that the items of presidential office are kept: the crown, the sash, the rod, and they are only removed upon great moments of state. And there are also displays within the museum, which doesn't surprise me. We'll see different kinds of robes, from the President and the Golden Usher to the chapter cardinals. Now, with so much of these ceremonial duties carried out around the area of the Panopticon, the capital's actual political heart is found in Sector 2. You'll find here smaller council chambers, conference rooms for the inner council, and any other small gatherings that are needed, and also a enormous assembly room so that the full High Council can meet and discuss urgent things. Now, I mentioned the President earlier. The President's office is adjacent to the inner council conference rooms, and this office has at least 2 hidden exits. The first leads to a hidden compartment which contains the controls for the forbidden time scoop, and the second leads from Sector 2 directly to the Chancellor's office in the 3rd sector. Now, the time scoop, just to give you a very brief idea what that is, it allows the wielder of the time scoop to operate the device so that it can target any individuals or objects that they need and move them from one point in time and space to another, to scoop them up and deposit them where the user of the time scoop wants. Sector 3 itself is given over entirely to the Chancellor and the Chancellery office. Nearby to this is Sector 4, which holds the Castellan's office. This includes the courtrooms and security compound. The compound can be broken down into detention rooms, interrogation rooms, and a selection of execution rooms. Now, most of these are officially closed but can be used when needed, and they have been disused by High Council decree, but there will be some within it that still want to make use of them. In Sector 5, you will find the capital's hundreds of libraries, record rooms, and archive stores. And from there you can gain direct access to Sector 6. There you will find various chapters of the Academy. Now this particular area, after the Panopticon, is the largest citadel, and every novice Time Lord will be instructed there. It also holds the main force field control area for the transduction barrier that shields Gallifrey. Then we move on to Sector 7. Sector 7, if you look at it, is dominated by the communications tower. And there, both space traffic control and temporal control are managed from there. And if you're a Time Lord and you're there, you can monitor and log every passing vessel in Gallifrey's vicinity. And it is believed, we are told, that Gallifrey's High Command War Room is also there. And it also contains an extraction chamber for removing other beings from the time stream. The War Room is subject to an incredibly high security rating. And to the outside, the extraction chamber, its existence is denied. Then we look at the final sector. Sector 8. It's there that the time travel capsule landing bays, an array of TARDIS repair shops can be found of various different types. TARDISes that have reached the end of their long lifespans are left there, in an area below the repair shops. It's known as the TARDIS graveyards. And somewhere amongst those various levels is the Celestial Intervention Agency, or CIA. Some say that the CIA uses, and I'll have to use the exact term from the source book here, architectural configurations to destabilise the pedestrian infrastructure of the capital, to constantly vary their temporal location within the citadel. And I think that basically means that they make sure that the central place the CIA operate from is never found, because it's never in one particular place. And now, below all those layers, deep beneath the Panopticon, are the Panopticon vaults. And there is the Eye of Harmony. And I'll draw directly from Doctor Who, A Brief History of a Time Lord here. A warren of ducts and service ways reveals a myriad mysterious and concealed adita, scenes of countless plots and treasons. Deeper still are the cloisters, the dark and damp and misty physical location of the Matrix, guarded by the cloister wraiths. And the Eye of Harmony is a singularity at the centre of the web of time, and it's the power source that makes all of the Gallifreyan time travel possible. And it also is tied to the Time Lord's powers of regeneration. And the Matrix, which I also mentioned, is a supercomputer, and it's used by the Hound Council of the Time Lords as a place where much knowledge is stored, so that that knowledge can be used to make predictions of future events. And deep within the planet of Gallifrey, buried near its core, are the Time Vaults. That place is home to the Omega Arsenal, and it's where all forbidden weapons are locked away. And what lies outside those domes, those protected areas? I'll quote directly from Brief History of Time to give you a little flavour. Barren dry lands, bleak and rock, ancient twisted trees, weeds sprouting among the bare grey rocks, pathetic little patches of sludgy snow covering those ranges of forbidden, inhospitable mountains. But this landscape comes alive with the colour it shows. The rocks are not grey, they're red, brown, purple and gold. And those patches of snow are shining white in the light of the twin suns. When night falls, the sky is a burned orange. And on the alunda trees, the leaves are bright silver. And when the leaves catch the light, it looks like a forest on fire. And when the season of autumn comes, the breeze blows through the branches like a song. And there are also mountains that are named Perdition, Serenity, Solace and Solitude, that go on forever. There you'll find slopes of deep grass capped with snow. And when the second sun rises, those mountains shine. There's also life outside those bubbles that the Time Lords live in. The small yellow sarlanes, the golden green schlenk blossom, the flies and flubbies and flutterwings, cats, mice and rovies, etc. And something that I like here, we are told that the Time Lord's planet of Gallifrey is the only ecosystem in the universe not to have been ravaged, and that the primary indigenous species have never become extinct, though this changes later when the war happens. And that, friends, is where I'll end today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it, and we'll return to Doctor Who shortly.